What is up, everyone? So glad to be back here with the Vandy Blitz. It's been a while, but we're really energized and just excited to get back at it. Game 5 of the NBA Finals is coming up. Celtics Warriors, really a great series, and just want to know your guys' immediate thoughts. 2-2 going into Game 5, and I think it's been a really solid series. So just want
I
to know
think
your guys'
solid series is kind of an understatement, at least from my
yeah.
perspective. Last game, we saw Steph Curry's all-time, in his entire career, in my opinion, best finals performance in a game. Back against the wall, we have not seen the Warriors really, being the underdog in many of the final series they've played in. Back against the wall, we see Steph Curry come out and absolutely carry the team and make some crazy shots. Wiggins was great on defense. Draymond was terrible until the last 2 minutes. That game was completely won by Steph Curry in his masterclass performance. And he's been amazing all series too. But other than that, the Warriors have not looked like the better team. The Celtics have looked like the better team consistently throughout the series. And without Steph Curry playing like one of the best point guards, one of the top two, if not the best point guard of all time, the Warriors are getting crushed in this series. So I don't know how confident I am that Steph is going to continue to play like this for the next 3 games. But you can't count him out either. But I think the Celtics are the better team. So, the series has been thrilling so far, but I think we're going to see the Celtics grind it out in 7.
I got to say, I'm really proud of Steph. I feel like because, I just have memories of watching LeBron against him in the finals in the past. And like when he was on the Cavs and everything, I remember like Steph was not very good in the finals. I remember just from memory, like he just really did not shoot very well. And like he's really coming into his own. Like he's obviously an amazing player. And now he's like showing that like this is like a legacy moment for him where like we haven't seen in a while. Like, it seems like every team has a superstar and he's willing their team like pretty much single-handedly through these finals right now. And Clay is not the same. I feel bad for Clay. Like we should maybe talk about him too, because he's really not looking like his like true self.
He hits some big shots, but he just has not been shooting and being the difference maker that he used to be, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't have the same bounce. Like people forget, I think, with Clay is that like he was like a top, very good defender before he got injured, like very athletic. And like, yeah, everyone knows him for his shooting. He's an amazing shooter, but like you gotta say, like when that athletic ability declines a little bit and you become a pure shooter, like maybe mentally it's draining because it's like he's thinking probably in his head, like, this is all I'm really contributing like to the max, versus like before he was a great defender, also was like able to drive pretty well. Like now he's just really like, it's like he's just being a shooter. And I feel like he's probably letting it get to his head a lot. A lot of his shots are just rimming out, like so close. Like it's not like they're terrible shots, but like he doesn't look like himself.
You say that, but watch us see like Game 5 Clay come out.
That would be crazy.
You're right. He has gone so far downhill, but I think the thing about Clay, or not so far, but he has gone downhill. But I think the thing about Clay Thompson is that any game, he still has the possibility that he could just explode. And if he gets cooking like that, like you're not going to stop him.
But I'm not too worried about Clay. I think he'll get better while like the series goes on. I think if we get to Game 5, 6, 7, I think that's where you see Clay really make a difference. But I like what all you guys said. It's been a great series. Ethan, I agree with you. The Celtics are one of the best basketball teams I've seen in I don't know, maybe since the Bucks last year. I honestly think the Celtics will win this series. I think even since the Heat series, I said I would work that in. I got to work it in. They were the better team, in that series by far.
Jimmy Butler was so close.
Yeah, I know. Butler did everything he could to make that a series. But the Celtics are great and they can lose. And that's why I think we're going to see such a great series here between Golden State and Boston. I think it's going to go back and forth. And I'm not a fan of either team. I just want to see Game 7 because it's like just so electric. That's one of the best parts of basketball, in my opinion.
Think about this though. If we get to Game 7, right? Like, and I'm going back to the Heat too. Jimmy misses that shot, and like it's like, damn, like crazy how like you play a whole 7-game series and at the end it still comes down to just like one bucket could have changed the whole outcome.
Yeah.
But like I wonder two things. One, I wonder if the Heat could have like hung with the Warriors. I feel like Hero would have had to be like on his shit and like actually back. But like two, like if it gets down to, let's say, like, hey, we hypothetically, right? Game 7, Celtics blow a lead and the Warriors are coming down and taking that 3 and it's Curry. He's making it and they win. Like, so like who knows what's gonna happen? Like I don't know. Obviously,
okay, here's the thing. You say Celtics can lose, and I think you're right, but in order for the Warriors to win, in order for the Celtics to lose, the Celtics have to turn the ball over, the Warriors have to hit more shots, and the Warriors have to get a great performance out of Steph. In order for the Celtics to win and for the Warriors to lose, the Celtics need to make some shots and keep control of the ball and not get terribly killed by Steph Curry.
I mean, if they lose this series,
this is just more likely when you look at the game than this. Because I heard some people talking about this game as like an empty the clip game for the Warriors, where now the Celtics over the next couple games are going to close them out. I'm not sure I want to go that far, but without Steph dropping 40-something points and being an absolute nuclear bomb, like, do you think the Warriors even have a chance in this? Like, no.
They don't.
And I think a huge thing with this matchup is, you think about the front court for the Warriors, they're completely outmanned by the Celtics. I mean, Kevin Looney.
Celtics are just longer. They got better defense on the perimeter. They're bigger. They're stronger.
And Marcus Smart, people really did not understand. I know he was the defensive MVP of the year. He really is showing the world really what he can do. And I do think a thing that if you're a Warriors fan, you're encouraged by Jason Tatum. He's a great player. I don't want Jason Tatum having the ball with 2 minutes left in the game.
He has not been playing well this series as he did for the rest of the playoffs.
Every game, I swear, he has 3 moments where he just like makes a pass where you're just like, what the fuck was that? Like, it's so weird because like he's a really good player. And like, I mean, listen, I don't know. In the NBA nowadays, like it's so valued that like you can get a bucket if you can get a bucket whenever you want. And like he can do that. Like he's just like that. But like he makes some decisions where it's like, dude, like what? Like he tries to like do a skip pass and it's like clearly there's a guy like gonna intercept that. Like, I don't know. He's a great player. I mean, I think the key for like the Celtics too in these games is like, as long as because Jaylen Brown like sometimes offensively can just like shit the bed and like absolutely like turn the ball over constantly. Misses those 2 free throws in the game against the Heat. I remember I was like, dude, like what are you doing? It's like the one shot that like has never changed in basketball like this entire time. But like I don't know. It's like the Celtics, you're right. They have to do less in order to win this series, but Curry could like I think keep it up. Like he could keep the hot hand, and if he does, then it's like you assume like he's a superstar, like one of the best players, if not maybe the best point guard of all time. Yeah. If he keeps it up, then like how many other things have to go right?
Let's get specific. Game 5 in the Warriors home court. The Warriors took back home court advantage. What is your prediction for Game 5?
Dude, I honestly have no idea. I think the Warriors will win just because
the Celtics. Just a little bit of data to add to this decision. The Celtics have not lost 2 games back to back this entire playoffs.
Actually, yeah. Then I changed my mind. The Celtics are going to win, and then the Warriors are going to win the next one, and then
you think it's coming home. So you're thinking both away teams are winning both of the next 2 games?
I think that could happen.
I think you've seen the Celtics aren't a great home team. You know, they're
worse. They're worse at home, I think.
They're totally worse at home.
But Warriors are a good home team.
It's because nobody wants to play good for Boston fans. The Boston fans just suck.
Yeah. I mean, but the other thing is, as I think you were referring to earlier, Ethan, is the Warriors rely on Curry so heavily, whereas the Celtics, if Tatum doesn't have like a 40-point, 30-point game, whatever, they have other players who can score the ball. So there's not as much reliance on their superstar in order to win a game, I think. And they also play so well defensively as a unit that they also don't need, like, because of that, they don't need to score. Like, a million points.
Defensively,
Right? So
they have been outclassing the Warriors. Speaking of defense, Draymond Green this series has I get that they need him for defense, but his offense, he's just been putting up like tour date numbers. It's terrible.
They don't care if he shoots threes. They don't care if he shoots anything. They're like, honestly, it's so embarrassing when a player.
But having him and Looney or him and I forgot his name. Having him and another big out on the court at the exact same time is you can't do it if you're the Warriors, or else you're getting absolutely killed.
So
but defensively, you need it.
Draymond sucks.
The thing about Draymond is that he honestly runs the offense like with the ball in his hands, maybe more so than even Steph. And what the Celtics did, they put Tatum on Green, kind of like to stop Green from being that facilitator and running that offense. And that's like a really unique decision because a lot of teams kind of forget about Draymond and the impact that he has on the offensive end. But I think that's really paying off for the Celtics, having one of their best defenders on Draymond and kind of just shutting down those passing lanes and those opportunities. I think that's really working out for the Warriors. And then the other thing I want to say is that, I think that if the Warriors can continue to limit Tatum, which they have, I don't think Tatum has had a great series. I think there's no reason why the Warriors can't win, because the way to beat the Celtics is to you obviously can't shut down Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but you focus on them and force Marcus Smart to hit open threes and beat you, which he can't really do. And so I think if the Warriors continue to limit Tatum and Brown, I think there's no reason why the Warriors can't win.
And I think going off of that, there's so much talent and experience on the Warriors side where I just think game 5 is really the Warriors game to lose. If they force the turnovers, force people like Marcus Smart, like you just said, to hit those shots, I think the Warriors win the game. But we've seen Draymond have a series affect him or one game effective, and he's a new player the next day. I predict Green to really use this as fuel and change the narrative. We think about, I think it was the 2016 Cavs year. He got ejected and, in my opinion, really lost the Warriors that series. I think this is the different narrative. Green's the one that wins the series. And people think that's impossible because he's looked like a shell of himself this whole series. But he can really turn it up on any night. And those Warriors fans, if he has just anything going, they're going to really use him to elevate the entire stadium. So I don't know. That's why I think the Warriors.
I honestly think, and I've noticed this in the Heat series mostly, the Celtics, I think, as a team, start off all games very well. I could be wrong, but I really think that they've never really and that's one of the things I think that's so good about them is they're never coming into a game kind of sleepy. I think and it really, the way the Warriors can win is if they actually are hungry from the minute the game starts. Because then if you can because they have those runs where they just go off, and if you are playing against a Celtics team that's trailing you for a good amount of the game, you're gonna win that game, I think, more likely than if you're chasing the whole time. Because the Celtics, when you're chasing the Celtics, it's hard as fuck.
But if you think about game 3, the Warriors, I think were down 20 at one point, and then they were up 2. The Warriors are the team that can chase them down. That's why I think the series is so good, because the Celtics might start really strong, but you have the best 3-point shooter at all time that keeps you in the game whenever. And that's
I don't think you're going to win a series. I don't think you can win a series relying on chasing. You have to have it. And it's
going back.
You can have a game or two here and there, but you can't put all your eggs in that basket.
Going back to the even the Bucks series with the Celtics give up these big leads at the end of games and make games close, just like game 7 in the Heat series too. I think that's just kind of the Heat did it too. They kind of just go dead, and the Warriors don't. They always have offense. It's always there, except maybe in game 1 where their shots were falling. But yeah, it's a great series, and I'm looking forward to the end of it.
Steph Curry Finals MVP year, finally.
I think so.
So what do you guys think about the Celtics winning the series? but I think we can all agree that Steph Curry's been the best player. So would they give it to Steph regardless of who
I don't
wins?
think they've ever done that. I don't think you can like.
I
do
think it's
that
been talked about. They've talked about doing that with LeBron a couple times because
Didn't they do that once?
swept by the Warriors and dropped like 40, 10 and 10. But I don't know. I don't think they would do that. But if the Warriors win, I think it's easily Steph as Finals MVP.
Definitely. Unless Jordan Poole or something has like 50 points.
No, I
No,
think it's already
not-
locked up. Unless
I
Steph
think if
gets,
they
like,
go
3 points
okay.
the next couple games, then
Okay, I think honestly, I'll make this prediction. If they go to Game 7 and they lose, and because the next couple games are going to be the most important in determining for the Celtics if the Celtics are going to even have the opportunity to be a Finals MVP. If like Jason Tatum plays inconsistent, or Jaylen Brown, whatever, and they go to Game 7 and the Celtics win, Steph will win MVP. It's happened once before, so there's precedent. It's going to happen because he's just lighting it up, and he's so heads and shoulders like if he wasn't playing, like this series wouldn't even be like it'd be a sweep.
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. All right. So let's all go around and give a final prediction on the series then after our discussion. I guess I'll start. I'll give actual prediction. I really want the Warriors. I think the Celtics are a better team, but there's just something in me telling me to ride with Steph Curry and that this is a legacy year and that the narrative would be so cool. I don't want to stand on the other side of it. So I'm going to go Warriors in 7.
Okay.
Steph Curry is Finals MVP.
I agree with you. I will ride with Steph, so I'm going to predict Steph Finals MVP, but Celtics win the series.
Okay.
I wonder if I can make that bet like on a.
I don't know if you can. I like
Dude, that's so unlikely, but like I don't know.
Very hot take, Joe.
If that happened, that'd be insane.
I feel
Why
like
not though?
I mean, it's definitely not that insane of a thing to happen.
No.
Now.
Dude, has it
I don't-
ever happened?
Yeah, it's
No, I
happened
don't.
once. It's happened once. I looked
When?
it up. I just looked it up just now.
Jerry
was it?
LeBron and
Jerry West got it.
didn't get it. Like Steph.
Jerry West got it, and they lost in 7. The Lakers lost the Celtics in 7.
Okay.
The Celtics
That was
too.
before they had the 3-pointer, dude. That was a different league, like 50 years ago.
There's precedent.
Okay, I like it though. I think the Warriors are gonna win in 6. I agree with Ethan. I love just trends, and I think in 6 because I think the Warriors are just gonna steamroll the Celtics, and kind of like you said, the Warriors hate Boston. We said the Warriors are an away team. If you get Game 5, you're gonna get Game 6. The Warriors have won on the road before. They're not gonna be nervous, and I think this is Curry's showing to be maybe the greatest point guard of all time, even though people already think it. This will solidify it.
All right. So I'm gonna go with the Celtics in 6 games. I said it
Really?
when we first started the show. I think they're the better team. And they just have to play a full 48 minutes, and that's obviously easier said than done. But I think that the longer the series goes on, the more consistent, the stronger, just the better team will ultimately come out on top. And then Finals MVP would have to be Jason Tatum, even though I don't think he's very good.
You don't think he's very good?
I don't know. He is. He is good.
I think Jaylen Brown could definitely snag that Finals MVP. for me.
Jaylen Brown, I think honestly kind of sucks because he just sometimes like I don't know, just like he does some stuff where like they both are obviously like are human and they have moments where they show like their humanity, but like I think when Jason Tatum does it, you're like, huh? But then like it's okay after. When Jaylen Brown does it, it's like you like if I was a Celtics fan, I would be like so enraged. I don't even know what I would do. Like,
Tatum
he turns
just
the ball
does.
all over. He can't even dribble sometimes. Sometimes he can't dribble.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But Tatum, like he makes these shots.
Tatum
that,
makes such bad decisions too. Like he'll take a turnaround jumper game win attempt from like 3 people guarding him off.
But he makes them.
No,
He's got the
makes,
green
like,
light
he
on
makes,
that.
He
He
makes like
does.
1 and then he justifies taking 55 fucking flyers that aren't gonna. I don't know.
Listen,
Kobe Bryant.
They're both a little
Green
trigger
lighted.
happy, I think.
All right, so I think I'm gonna go Celtics in 7. And and I think I'm gonna have Marcus Smart as the Finals MVP. Reason being, I think the way the Celtics win the series is defensively. Because realistically, if both teams, let's say both teams played soft defense, I think the Warriors could outshoot the Celtics. I mean, Curry specifically could just light up the game. But I think that's how they win. I think they play lights out defensively, and I think Marcus Smart is the leader of that, and for that reason, he's the Finals MVP.
Marcus Smart.
And I think that's everyone's really good predictions. I just want to quickly transition to hockey. We see Colorado is going to be playing Tampa. Colorado in the Western Conference Finals swept Edmonton. Edmonton had Connor McDavid, which is crazy that they swept them. And then Tampa beat the Rangers after being down 2-0. They beat them 3-2 in this or 4-2 in the series, and this is gonna be Tampa's third straight year in the finals, going for a 3-peat, which would be historic. And I don't know if everyone's like the biggest hockey fan, but this playoffs has been so electric because it's been really, really competitive. And to see the way New York has come back for the first playoff appearance since 2017 is truly remarkable. And Colorado Tampa is going to be a really, really good series. So I recommend everyone stays stuck to their TV for that series.
Yeah, Avalanche have been killer though. They've been absolutely lethal the whole playoffs. So
Have they dealt with adversity?
no, I don't know.
I don't even know shit about hockey. I'm not even gonna
A little bit, because the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, the Blues were
a tough series with them.
They're a good team.
But I think it's incredible that the Lightning have made this run. I was tuned into the Panthers Lightning series, and everyone in South Florida was really hopeful because the Panthers had the best team in hockey all year. But the playoff championship experience ultimately won out. Vasilevsky, the Lightning goalie, is just really putting on a clinic right now. They have a great defense going against Colorado's incredible offense. I think you really couldn't have asked for a better matchup for the Stanley Cup. I'll give a prediction. I don't know if anyone's asking for it, but I'm going for the Lightning to 3-peat. I think that would be sick. I don't know how likely it is.
I'm not super close in my following of hockey. I watched the Blues series because my dad's side of the family's from St. Louis. They're all big Blues fans. And that's why I know the Avalanche are some bad men. So I don't really know a ton, but I'm just to have some parity, I'm gonna go Avalanche.
Is their goalie good? Is the Avalanche goalie good?
It's okay, but Tampa's goalie is probably the best goalie in the league.
Then I think the Lightning are gonna win, dude. It's crazy how important goalies are in this shit. It's insane. Goalies can literally. I play lacrosse and if you have a good goalie, it's a huge difference. But same thing, it's huge if you have a good goalie. It's literally it's the most important player by far. It's like having a fucking great pitcher in baseball.
I was about to say that it's probably arguably the hardest position to play in sports, I think, is a hockey goalie. But I just wanted to shout out Igor Shesterkin of the Rangers. He absolutely stood on his head for a good period of the game last night. And honestly, the Lightning had all the chances, looked like they were going to win the game from the outset. And he just stood on his head, saving shots that should easily be goals. But yeah, I don't know about the finals. I would probably say the Lightning are going to win just because Vasilevsky, obviously great goalie. And they just have so much experience. And I don't the Avalanche are young. They're gritty. They get in, they annoy you, but I think the Lightning have dealt with that before, so I think they'll figure it out and win the Stanley Cup.
And I think going back to what Jacob was saying about the Panthers series, to sweep the best team in hockey, which everyone thought Florida was, is really remarkable. And then Tampa, I see 4-2 because, like we were saying, their goalie is really good, and he really outplayed Igor Shesterkin in the whole series, and that's kind of crazy because everyone's like, Igor was what brought the Rangers there. Rangers weren't even supposed to make the playoffs this year, and both teams have really just dominated the whole series or the whole playoff. I think it's going to be really a good playoffs to watch, and I'd say playoff hockey is really like the biggest difference between regular season and playoffs. Like you really
Totally.
see the best teams, and I don't
Totally.
know, it'll be cool. A good time to watch sports right now.
Yeah, lots of good stuff going on. But after the finals, I'm gonna be a little sad in both of these sports after the finals, because then it's gonna be a little bit of a lull in sports.
Then
But
there's nothing. Yeah.
we have
Just got
UFC
baseball.
cards. We have UFC cards in the meantime. So that's all. But
Listen,
Anyway.
I'm getting into baseball right now, so hopefully if you guys wanna start checking it out, maybe we can talk about that.
all right, sounds good. But it is good to be back. And
Definitely profitable on the book. if you know what to do.
I think baseball actually is proven to be the worst sport for like bookies. Like it's the worst one because I think people have the highest win rate. Don't quote me on that though.
I'm quoting you.
I won't.
Awesome.
Because I don't know anything about betting. I don't do that shit.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We were on a little bit of a hiatus while we all got our summer jobs started and we're finishing up the semester, but we are glad to be back. We will be back as new and interesting stuff happens in the sports world. So subscribe, like the video, and stay tuned for more Vandy Blitz content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.